the best time of the week. Time to listen to the Three Brothers. Forget your garlic and your leeks and listen to the Three Brothers. It's fat-free, sugar-free, dairy-free, soy-free, and free from gluten and priestcraft too. If you click this accidentally, stick around. You might learn a thing or two. Chuck on a shirt, tie and shorts, and crack yourself a brew without any further ado. We are coming at you. Three brothers, juxtapositions, and midnight ramblings for sure. Three brothers, don't forget you get what you pay for. Three brothers, so come on down, don't even worry about it anymore.
Three Brothers. All right, welcome once again, brothers and sisters. Welcome back to this week's podcast. It's a pleasure to have you all with us, and it's time to hear from your favorite brothers. Once again, totally in sync, not out of sync whatsoever, just how you like it. Remember, you get what you pay for, and the quality. It really is that good because we know what you pay. Thanks for joining us again this week. If you've accidentally clicked on this link, we hope you stick around. So stick around.
Certainly do. All right. Straight into it. Ready?
Or not.
How did we do from me to you? I wanna follow up.
Yeah. All right, gang. How did we go this week? We wanna follow up. Yeah. Let's hear from you, boys. How'd you go this week? Just like life in general, and also the weekly commitment was think about all the promises you've made and resolve to keep them or repent. How did we do?
Man, I always forget to think about this before we start because I was like, man, I can't remember what I did yesterday, let alone over the past week, you know. But in terms of awesome things, and this will lead into the rant that we have a little bit. Elder Stevenson was here on the weekend, which was good. Both Ammon and myself got to be part of that in different ways. And so that was one really cool thing because, again, that's a rarity for us, very rare. So that was good. And in all honesty, there's not much else that stands out like that's worth mentioning in my life. My life is the same day in, day out, same thing. But in terms of the commitment we made, think about all the promises you have made and resolve to keep them or repent. That's a constant. I don't have anything specific about this. This is a constant thing pretty much every single day in all the prayers that I say and all that I do. This is a constant thing to introspectively look at what I'm doing and where I need to be better. And the little checklist on the right there in that image, promises, family, work, church, health, personal. That right there is a good little checklist of things to think about. So anyway, I don't really have much specific, but for me, it's just a constant thing, constantly repenting, to be honest, about it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very good. I can jump in there. So, like you were just saying, I was also involved with the meetings and the visit from Elder Stevenson. Did I get that right or wrong?
Yeah.
Stevenson, I'm pretty sure I
Harry
got that
E.
right. There's an Anderson, there's a Stephen, there's a Christensen, there's lots of sons in the
Hans Christian
old
Andersen.
apostle.
Yeah.
There's too many apostles with son. Anyway, yeah, that was interesting. What I was planning on doing on the Saturday is helping my wife and another couple in our ward serve them like an early dinner. And on the day, Amy's like, "Hey, I've got this. You don't have to come along. We're literally just going to set up and serve, and we'll be fine." So I actually didn't end up going to that. She went because she was there for some meetings beforehand with him. So she sorted that out, and that all went well. And they were friendly, and Elder Stevenson wanted to get photos with everyone who was serving and stuff too. So
We got a big
he
photo
was
with him
obviously,
too, which was cool. I don't know
yeah,
if I'll ever see it, but yeah.
that's cool. So, he was very gracious with everyone that was volunteering their time, which is nice. And on Sunday, it was the our state conference with Elder Stevenson presiding, which was fun. And I got to sing in the men's choir, and we sang Brightly Beams, Our Father's Mercy, which is one of my absolute favorite hymns. And I really enjoyed doing that. Like I enjoyed the process of like I'm glad it was a big enough event so that all the men took it seriously. Because a lot of the time when you do stuff like that, people don't take it seriously. They don't go to the
Yeah.
practices, they don't care, they don't learn the parts, they don't try, and then it ends up just being a boring waste of time for everyone. But they all took it seriously. They all wanted to do it well. And actually just got a video of it. Somebody recorded it and sent it to me. And so
Hmm.
it sounded good. I enjoyed the process and I felt good through it. And then yeah, just enjoyed
Did,
the state conference.
did you have a lot of gate crashes at your state conference?
Not really.
Didn't feel
Probably
like
a
okay,
couple of them.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it was
Because
crazy.
like an apostle comes and I'm like almost like everyone in the state wants to go, go see the
Hmm.
apostle. So I was expecting there'd
Yeah.
probably be a bunch of people out of bounds.
Yep.
I'm just
And I
visiting.
yeah, yeah. I
Just
was
to
gonna say
happen
to a
to.
couple people, I was like, oh, welcome to your state conference. I was gonna say some smart stuff like that to some people, but I couldn't be bothered. Um, as far as the follow-up this week, there was a couple of things like for me, the biggest thing about keeping promises is that sometimes I forget. Usually, the biggest problem is that I usually just forget that I've committed to something. And then at some point, I'm like, oh yeah, I did say I was going to do that. And then I try and, if I've forgotten about it, I try and do it. So there's a couple this week. One of them was one that I just remembered about actually, about someone I said I was going to get back to from an issue in the Discord group. And so I was talking to Micah and some other people about that issue and jumped back on the boat. And I'm trying to get that sorted out because I committed to the guy that I was going to come back to him. That was one. But yeah, typically I'm always
Thank
trying to
you,
keep the
King Ammon.
Yeah, well, I believe it's Grand Poobah, but I'll take
Oh,
King.
okay. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that's better. So, and watch yourself next time. That's a joke, by the way, guys. So, yeah, I'm trying to, if usually it's just about trying to remember what I've said and committed to it and then being able to follow through because it's usually just my memory. But anyway, that's pretty much me this week.
So the Lollipop Guild, the little choir knocked it out of the park. That is awesome. Love love hearing that. The-
We represent.
yeah, that was good. I love it. So yeah, uh this this week once again the next 2 weeks Ashley has a vacation. She doesn't get those very often, and so she's been around and we've been like trying to get some stuff done around the house. It's so funny because I don't know if I should share this, but like Ashley will like loves jumping and starting certain projects and stuff, and it's I don't understand what it is with Ashley, but like she always breaks the lawnmower and or is on the lawnmower when it breaks, and so it's so funny because she's like I'm gonna get this lawnmower working and I'm gonna do this thing, right? So she hops on it and it immediately breaks. Like seriously, first lap breaks. And so she's like, I'm gonna fix it. Don't you touch it. I'm gonna fix it. So it's like, okay, all right. So then she fixes the belt and does the whole thing, and then she just starts mowing again, and she's like, yeah, that's right. And then it breaks again. So now it's on the second belt break that we've been here. So it's fun. We've had a couple weeks off. We're getting stuff done. We're almost we're finished with the playground here. So we just put up another hanging bench. So we built this like crazy playground over here that's just kind of like built as it's gone. It's got multiple slides in a tree house. And so
Hmm.
we've shared some pictures in Discord, and so it's been kind of fun. We've been hopefully we'll get that finished, in the springtime here, and the kids can have some fun. So that's what
Nice.
the focus has been here. Having some, which some people will be familiar with, but I won't get into too much details. Having some fun with locals, if you will say over here. So Ashley is the little bean is now apparently the size of a lemon. So we're still progressing, and so that's nice. Um,
Oh, good to
and
hear.
Love
so
it.
it's It's good. This will bring number up to 4, so that's good. Good to hear. With this child's Zoe still due for December, I believe.
How are you
If
spelling it?
Zoe, I believe.
Easy. Yeah, cool.
With the
Easy peasy.
with the 2 dots above the E, because I think that just looks awesome, or whatever it is.
Zoe.
So we're
Whatever.
Are you actually putting two
yeah,
dots on there?
yeah.
Oh,
So we're
wow.
actually gonna like put the dots on it and stuff.
Every
And
time
what's
you
so funny?
type it, you're gonna have to figure out how to do that character. Like, how do I
Yeah,
do that?
yeah. And it's funny because I looked it up and it was like the 2 dots actually make it so that people know when pronouncing it that it is the actual sound of the
Like a
letter E.
yeah,
So and you know it's Zoe.
yeah.
So I was like, that's exactly what I want. So it'll look cool. And so, as far as the promises are concerned, you know what's funny is I was hoping that some people I would see more of this actually taking place with my people that I know. Nobody contacted me, so it didn't happen that way. And as I was thinking about it this week, this is something that actually happened to me. This kind of transformed into another commitment for me. I found that like I actually do a pretty good job of really remembering my promises and keeping them, like almost to a fault of I don't make promises. So like this is the realization I had is that like I do what I say I'm gonna do. So if I don't want to do it, I just won't say I'll do it. I'll just not
Yeah.
say. I'll just be like, yeah, I'll try or
Well,
whatever.
that's probably the way we need to be, right? Because you don't want to be promising stuff you're not going to do.
Yeah.
So
And so
yeah,
anyway, so I and my life has been a lot more stressful recently, and I have this problem. I genuinely have this problem that when my life gets more stressful, and it's been that way with baby at every front right now. Man, I seem to develop a little bit of a potty mouth, and I have this last week. I was like, the reason why I've never I ebb and flow on this is because I've never made promises regarding this. And I refuse to do it. And I thought this week and I said, dude, I need to make a promise with myself and with others that like I'm gonna be better with my potty. Like even though I'm stressed out, even though like I reach these points of time, like man, I have to get better at just like not doing this. And so like I did resolve to, funny enough, repent, but also make a promise. So it was actually like I didn't haven't made this promise yet. And so, other than I guess you could say with God, I guess I did make this promise to some degree or other with God. But so anyway, that was my big thing this week thinking about this is that, and by this week, I mean yesterday when I was writing these back up again, is that I was like, man, I just didn't have this. So last night when we were writing these up and creating these images, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this. So one of those things there, promises family, work, church, health, personal. This one was a promise to myself. So. And that was my week.
that's a good way. Like if we know you've got something you want to improve on, it's actually not a bad way of like forcing yourself to actually do it. Yeah, nice.
So changed my life. That was it. Okay.
Uh,
Changed lives. Mine.
my life has changed since yesterday.
Since yesterday. We'll see how I do. We'll see how I do. Uh,
All right.
We've got to rent, yeah.
Right.
Oh, it's the rent,
Rest of the week. All right, time for
Yeah.
the rant of the week, boys.
One of the best times. One of the best times.
Yeah,
All
and
right.
this one belongs to Ammon and Topher. Take it away,
All right.
boy.
So I think I guess I'll take the lead on this, Ammon. I suppose
This
'cause
this
was
is all you.
at
Yeah.
my meeting. Yeah. So now this goes to what I was saying about Elder Stevenson. So Elder Gary E. Stevenson came on the weekend to Perth, which was really great. Again, because it is a rare occasion. It only happens every. He actually explained in the meeting how it works. He went down to the math on how they calculate this, and it was if they tried to go to every state conference and every like once a year or something, they would visit each stake once every. It was some crazy number. It was like 36 years. So what they do is they do this little thing where they come out once every 5 years and they do this alternating thing and then blah blah blah. Anyway, so when they come out, long story short, it's a treat, right? So now Ammon was blessed enough to be in the stake that had him come to his state conference. And but with him, his traveling companion was Elder Yagi, Jaggi, who was recently called as a Area 70. I think it's Area 70, or just he's a General Authority 70, whatever it is. He's one of the 70s, right? He was his traveling companion, also Elder Rayside, who I'm actually quite familiar with. So they were with him as well. And so we had Elder Yagi at our state conference, and Ammon had Elder Stevenson at his state conference. And by the way, Elder Yagi is fantastic, really good as well. So anyway, so I was blessed enough with my calling to actually go to a leadership meeting with Elder Stevenson, and I was there with my bishop, and my bishop being the type of guy he was like, "Come with me," and he took us up, and we sat right in the front row. And because it was more of an informal meeting, Elder Stevenson, Elder Yagi, Elder Rayside all stood up basically right at the front, not on the podium, right down with us and talked to us. The meeting went for way longer than I ever thought it meant to be. I think they extended it at the last minute because they wanted a lot of question and answer time and things at the end. It ended up going for over 3 hours. But so what that meant was I sat 3 feet from Elder Stevenson for 3 hours, listening to him talk and answering questions and going through things. It was really cool. It's just really nice when you have an opportunity to be around a general authority like that. Didn't get to ask any questions, didn't get to do any of that, but there's so many people in one room. But it was really, really good. I took tons of notes. And it was a really great experience. I was engaged the whole time, which for me is, with my, millennial TikTok ADHD brain, focusing for 3 hours on something. It's quite a challenge. I didn't look at my phone the entire time, right? Like I'm focused on him the entire time. So that's saying a lot. So anyway, it was really, really good. And Elder Yagi, by the way, just anything that comes up, he's got a scripture reference for it. I really appreciated that. Like you can tell straight away, this guy reads his scriptures like crazy. And he'd have scripture. It was really impressive. So I really liked that. Anyway, this is the context. Now to the rant. You see the rant here. Boomers can't find the silence on their phones, even for Christ. So what happened and what kind of soured the experience a little for me was that, I'm not even kidding, in that 3-hour period, at least 20 times phones went off. Phones rang. Ding, or ring, 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 whatever. And because it's majority boomers and things in this meeting, they are at full volume, max volume, and they can't find the mute button either. They can't. Ring, bang, bang, bang. Oh, how do I? Why is this happening? Oh, why? And then to the point where some of them have to get up and walk out, and you hear the sound getting dimmer and dimmer as they walk further. Because they can't turn it off. And at the cinemas, man, we understand not to do this. And in a sacrament meeting on a Sunday, this barely ever happens. It very rarely happens in my sacrament meetings. But Elder Stevenson comes, and we can't, as a group of the leaders of the church, silence our flippin' phones or devices for a few hours. Mind-blowing to me and really annoying. So here's my question: is when you hear one phone go off, do you not go, "Oh, I should check my phone"? One phone goes off and you don't go, "I was checking mine constantly." The people behind me, right? Right in the row behind me, they were doing recording as well, which I'm not sure if I'm a huge fan of that, but whatever. They were recording every time anyone spoke. So every time Elder Stevenson, actually, because he did do a talk as well, and every time they spoke, they would record, and he could hear it going do 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 every time they'd record. Mate, I'm thinking my phone's making noise. I'm checking it constantly, going, better not be me, I'm so careful about it. Apparently all these other boomers, not a care in the world, don't care if I ruin everyone's meeting. Now here's the pièce de la résistance, right? As apostles do, at the very last thing he did was give an apostolic blessing to the group. And I'm not kidding, the same person's phone went off twice during the apostolic blessing part of it. And I'm and I'm not good at I was scowling, man. I was fuming. It really ruined it for me. I was like, are you kidding me? Are you actually so dumb? Do you know what I mean? And here's the thing, it's embarrassing, man. I'm embarrassed.
Yes.
And I'm embarrassed for you, and I'm embarrassed for all of us. And I'm like, what is happening here? This is just crazy, man. So I was
secondhand embarrassment is wild.
Yeah, I was fuming. So
you wonder if that happens in an African steak,
Probably does.
They take the call. No, that's South Philly, man. That's South Philly.
Yeah. No, in an African one, they wouldn't. Yeah, no, it's in an American one that would. Yeah, no. So, but anyway, so the experience was fantastic. It was really good. I really appreciated it. It was great, and then it was kind of ruined as well to a measure, and kind of embarrassing because we can't just sort our lives out, man, and just learn how to silence our devices and detach from them for a couple of hours. And yeah, so that's the rant on that. It was frustrating, embarrassing. Please sort your lives out. Please sort your phones out. Dude, I haven't heard my phone make a noise in 15 years. It stays on silent. I don't even turn it off on. So it's even more surprising. If I hear my phone somehow, it's like someone's touched my mute button and I'm like, what the heck? Doesn't happen. Sort your
Yeah,
lives
I'm
out.
pretty sure my phone can't make noise at this point.
I've smacked the speaker on it.
Yeah, when
It's
I
so
was in
funny.
that state conference meeting, I made sure that my phone was off about 80 times. So
Mm-hmm.
every couple of minutes, I would just make sure, because my kids touch my phone. So
Yeah.
I'd just keep, every now and then they'd grab it and they'd touch it and I'd take it off them. And I had to just keep checking. Yep, still off, cool.
I understand once and I understand twice. I can even understand three, but I'm not even, I'm like, and I guess I'm probably exaggerating 20, but like it was so many times that I was like, what is happening right now? Like
Twice
it was,
in the apostolic blessings.
and then
Just-
he's going to like,
From the
and then
same
two
person.
times, the same dude, he couldn't, someone kept calling him and he couldn't mute your phone, mate. What's going on? Like
Oh.
far out. Yeah.
It-
And so, sorry, go on.
We
Sorry,
used to, as
Franco.
millennials, we as millennials used to like go through great lengths to record and try to create ringtones with our favorite songs and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Like we used to at one point really like, and now we're just like, oh man,
No, I don't
like
want to hear nothing.
I don't
I
I
don't
don't
hear
want
it.
the phone, no.
No.
And so I would just
Yeah, you used
point
to be
out,
proud when your phone would ring and it would be out loud.
yeah,
And you're proud of your ringtone. Now I'm like, I don't want anyone to hear that. Just
yeah,
mute it.
no.
Never hear it. Yeah.
Yep. And yeah. And so here's another thing for people. I don't know if you ever thought about this, but like there's nothing that says you have to bring your phone in. You know, just there's an idea, you know, you have a car, you have a, you know, this little thing called the glove compartment, like you know, you also have a home, you know, like you don't have to have your phone, you know. So like, you know, if you're worried, you know, if you're worried and you're like, I just don't know if I can figure out the silence. It's like you can go a couple hours, you know, without a phone. Just don't bring it in. Like I think
If I can do it, you can do it.
yeah,
Yeah.
if we can do it, guys. We can figure this out.
The only thing I used my phone in there was taking notes. I was using my phone to take notes.
Oh.
So I've got tons and tons of notes, and that's the only thing I was using it for. But and so I understand that point, like, because you know, people most often now don't have physical scriptures, which I kind of miss physical scriptures, but it's also convenient kind of as well to have just a phone with it on there. But yeah, that's the trade-off. But if you can't manage yourself, you know, yeah. So that's the rant. Now, there's one other thing that Ammon actually mentioned, because Ammon, I was like, "Hey, Ammon, how was the state conference?" And Ammon, do you remember what you said about Elder Stevenson? Because it's made me think a bit since. Do you remember what you said?
Yeah,
How was
the
it?
thing that the thing that I wanted to happen.
Yes. Yeah, go on. What was it?
Two things.
Do you remember?
Firstly,
Yeah, go on.
well, firstly, I was like, if you've traveled all that way and you can only come once every 5 years and it's such a massive trip and it's this and it's that and it's so important, can you firstly not spend the first 10 minutes of your 20-minute talk explaining your arrival or what
Yeah.
it took to get here? We get that it's far away. Like, we don't need to hear that. Can you spend those 10 minutes just teaching the gospel? And then the second thing, like, just maybe that's a little critical, but honestly, all I'm saying is I want to hear more from the apostle about the gospel than about his
Yeah.
trip to see us. And then the
Yeah.
second thing is, if an apostle visits, really the only thing I want to hear, the most important thing I want to hear, is the apostle bear pure testimony of Jesus Christ. And that's really
Yes.
it. Like, I don't need him
Yep.
to say something special. I just want him to give the most powerful testimony that he can muster with all the energy of his heart to me. And that's the thing that would touch me and touch everybody.
Yep.
And we
that's-
did,
so
and
I
we
thought-
didn't get it, really.
Yeah. I didn't actually think about that until you said it the other day when I asked you how it was, and I was like, that's a really good point. So I've thought about that a lot since, and I've actually had a few conversations with, because I talk to the missionaries a lot in my ward, and the missionaries had a meeting with him as well, and I ended up talking about it to a few people about this, and I thought it's the same thing, like, and also one of my mates I talked to who was in the leadership meeting afterward, he was like, I don't want to hear from anyone else. Like, get rid of like, it's a bit rude, but get rid of all these other like people. I just want to hear from the apostle. And it's like, yeah, maybe that's a bit selfish as well, but it's also true. It is like the most rarest of things to have him. Can we not just hear from him about really, whatever from him? But yeah, so he has traveled all this way, and it's so rare. And my point, and it's exactly the same as Ammon's as I thought about it, is an apostle, and this isn't a complaint, by the way. I loved Elder Stevenson, and it was great. This is not a complaint at all. It's just, but if this could ever somehow go out into the ether and be heard by apostles or something, that this is what they should do next time, then I hope it does. And I think maybe why they don't do this so much is probably because they've done it a lot, and they maybe just assume that they don't need to do this anymore. I don't know. But what I want to hear, an apostle, right, is a special witness of Christ. And if you are a special witness of Christ, and in my opinion, if you are a witness of Christ or a special witness of Christ, you would have to assume, and a quick context to this, and I may have mentioned this sometime in the past few years, whatever. And when I was in the MTC, we had a 70 come, and I can't remember who it is, unfortunately, but we had question and answer time, and I asked him what it meant. I mean, in the question and answer time, my question was, what does it mean from your perspective to be a special witness of Christ, right? Because he went into, I think he discussed that when he was talking. And I remember his answer was, put it this way, we have more than faith, more than just faith that he is real. And so I was like, so I've always held on to that as like, okay, man. So like, because how do you be a special witness of Christ if you haven't witnessed it? Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what form that takes. I don't know how that looks exactly, whatever it might be. You can assume, you can guess, whatever. But if you're in a special witness of Christ, that's literally all I want is like, I just want you to tell me, to witness of Christ to me. And what do you think will benefit me being a leader in the church more than me knowing that you know Christ is real? Absolutely. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know he's real, but you're in a special witness of Christ, and I just want to hear and know that you proclaim that, you know that, you know what I mean? And so this is exactly what Ammon was saying. That would be everything, and everything else is kind of gravy. So, and again, he didn't really do that, but I wonder if it's because they've done it to death and they just assume it or whatever. But it was still great. It was fantastic, and the apostolic blessing was really, really nice, except for the phones ringing through it. And yeah, but so I think that was a fair point. That's all I want to hear, really. That's the core, and then everything else is great. But yeah, anyway, it was still great. No complaints, just
I don't know if this will get me in trouble, because everything that Ammon Topher just said is, I'm sure, totally fine. But what I will say will get me in trouble for some reason. But I think that the reason why drawing specifically to like, why are these other people talking and not just the apostle? I think that there's two reasons for that they will say. I think one is because of training. I think that they want to train up these other people to know how to do this, because we're very bureaucracy run now, and so like to train the younger people like how the system works and like what does it mean to be an apostle. That means that these people can then get called to be apostles later on in their life, so I think there's a little bit of a pipeline going on, a little bit of training going on. I think the other reason, though, that we just don't really talk about as much, which we're okay with, it's just kind of weird, is it's due to their age. I think that like for some reason we just have really old apostles now. And what's kind of crazy is that like, this has only been something within like the last 100 years. Like the first 100 years of the church, like there was very young apostles, like very young apostles and general authorities. Like even President Monson, who we know, he was called to be an apostle really young, compared to today. He was called to be a bishop in his 20s or whatever it was, and a general authority in his 30s. And so, and what do we know about President Monson is that when President Monson showed up to places, he did run everything. And I think that I wish that we had more of that, less like bureaucracy pipelines and more just like callings from the Lord, because it's like, man, if I was in a calling like that, like if I was a special witness of Christ or whatever, it's like I would want to be the one doing all the talking, and not because I'm special or I want people to listen to me, but because it's like I know that that's what they want and I want to help them. And so like I want to be like to fulfill the mandate as best as I can. And but man, if you're like 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 years old, it's like there's only so much before you literally just drop dead, man. And like you just don't have that in you, right? I mean, a 3 hour meeting is a big deal. Like that's a big deal. Um
Yeah.
and so
Do
yeah.
you know what? Like, I was thinking about this. He was here for maybe 3 days or something, and the amount of meetings that he held in those 2, 3 days was crazy. So all day Saturday, like just the meeting that only I was in, just the one meeting, that was 3 hours. They had half an hour for lunch. Then they had an even tighter leadership meeting with bishops and stake presidents, not even their councillors, like a really tight one. Then that would have gone for a couple hours, whatever. Then in the afternoon, it was a missionary one. And then there probably was something after that and something after that. Like it was a whole day thing, man. And then on the Sunday, he does a state conference. And then who knows what after that. And I was thinking, like, it's so I guess a counterpoint to it is like I can understand it must be so tiring. You imagine how tiring it would be to actually just run meeting after meeting where you're like needing to be the guy who's got the answers to every single thing, and you're supposed to be this
Well, I
almost
can't
like
remember it for my
you're
mission. And
yeah, but yeah,
so yeah, yeah.
it's tiring too, right? Like it is tiring. But yeah, he's almost like to entertain us for hours and hours and hours, almost. You know what I mean? Like to entertain us. Yeah. So I was thinking about that. I was like, man, it must be really really tiring. And then when does he get time to even prepare for that? He'd get a couple hours at night, and he'd probably have to, you know, do his scripture studies and whatever else and prepare. Like, what a busy job, man. Actually, full time, just entertaining the saints almost. And I was thinking about that. I was like, it's fair, you know. It's probably a real big lot of work. But anyway, we love you, Elder Stevenson. Thanks for coming. And Elder Yagi, Elder Rayside, and your wives, all fantastic. It was very good. I wouldn't be surprised if Elder Yagi ends up as an apostle, man. He was so good.
Hey, that would prove my point.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Comment, comment, comment of the week. Yeah, yeah, la, 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 yeah, 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 yay!
Yay! Cannot beat that. Cannot beat the production value. All right, so I guess I'll read this one. So this one was anonymous. I'm not going to actually say who this was, but this was such an important comment for me, and I think there's something that I would like talking about. And so I put it in here because this is something that's happening right now, and I put it on Facebook as well. Excuse me. I put it on Facebook as well. This what's happening right now with this situation, not just like with church stuff, but like politics and I don't know. It's very interesting. So this comment of the week from Anonymous. Okay, it says here, I've been a bishop for the past 3 years, and I've always been straightforward. I don't believe there's an official procedure because there's questions about how this procedure of this should run. However, we have a church culture where we avoid saying anything that might offend someone. I've personally reached out to people and told them we need to meet to discuss their finances, temple recommends, and other matters. Most of the time, there's a mutual understanding of why and what needs to be discussed. My secretary handles most of the routine interviews I have. I had members of my ward complain to the stake president about my views on Christmas and college education. Fortunately, the stake president gave me a heads up on what he wanted to discuss with me and correct my views. During the meeting, I realized it was pointless to try and explain things, even though I was prepared. It was clear that he lacked a solid foundation of the pyramid of truth. Therefore, it was futile to attempt to build any doctrine or principle without first establishing the foundation of the actual pyramid of truth. Church headquarters has a committee called the Strengthen Church Members Committee. They thoroughly review online content, and that would involve apparently even our podcast, and identify any issues they find. If they discover something that they believe requires an intervention, they will reach out to the local general authority, who then contacts the stake president to confront the individual involved. It's possible that someone on that committee has reviewed your content and was offended by it.
Hmm.
And so that to
Possible.
me is absolutely, once again, how many people in the church even know about the Strengthen Church Members Committee?
I know that of it.
Never heard of it.
Like there's so many of these things that are just absolutely fascinating that I've never served as a bishop. I've never been obviously a bishop. But like you serve as a bishop for 3 years, you serve as stake president for how many years. And it's what's amazing about this group, this group of friends that we have, is that they're bishops, they're stake presidents, like they're elders quorum presidents, and it's like each one of us is all learning and at different levels and stuff, but it's like it's like there's stuff that we just like don't know. Like you could have an elder scrum president and he's like, I've never heard of something like this. And then there's like a bishop and a stake president who served this, but then there's stuff that even the bishop hasn't heard of. And and it's like it's very, very it's very interesting to me. And this strengthening church members committee, I don't know how far this goes, but this is really this to me is fascinating, and this will get into the news of the week as well, with what we know what's happening with people behind the scenes, in church, in politics, in the world, and their ability now to buy influencers, to go out and actually buy influencers and share messages and so forth, and stifle other people behind the scenes without anybody even knowing. And so I don't know. I think this is one of those comments where it's like I didn't know about this. And so I thought, man, this is a comment that I think people should know about. I think people should know about more of this stuff.
I've never heard of the Strengthen Church Members Committee. I've heard of the Weaken Church Members Committee, also known as Priest Crafters.
Yeah. Hmm.
They're all in a big committee together. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. They're in a big cabal.
Yeah.
But
Makes
if
you
they were
wonder,
to
though.
call themselves anything, they probably would be pull the progressive move and call themselves the Strengthened Church Members Committee, even though
Probably.
yeah.
Yeah, it does make you wonder. Like, I mean, we don't get a lot of views on any of our platforms. Like, we don't do this for the love of the fame. You know what I mean? Like, so it makes you wonder, if, like, who's aware of this? I know people like, for instance, our stake are kind of aware that because we've been doing it for so long, and I'll get people go, "Oh, you're still doing your videos, your podcasts?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." No one watches it, you know. Like, people are aware of it, so it makes you wonder. I don't know. I don't know. Like, if someone's reviewed, it's a possibility, but we're not super mainstream, so.
Yeah.
But I
But we
wouldn't
did
be
have
surprised if they watch this and link it to everything, Discord and all that,
yeah, you also had individuals who were very, very mainstream recently bump into us. And I know that those people who are very, very, very mainstream have direct connections to these things like the Strength and Church Member Committee. And because they're getting their cues from them, they're actually getting money from them. They're actually getting that like you watch these videos with these LDS influencers who all of a sudden have sit downs with the apostles. You have people in Australia who haven't seen an apostle for 5 or 35 years, but yet some LDS influencer who's been an LDS influencer for like a year, all of a sudden he gets to sit down with an apostle. That doesn't just like the apostle didn't just call somebody up. Like the apostle isn't like watching these videos, right? It is something like the Strengthen Church Members Committee who is watching all these LDS influencers and decides, picks and chooses winners and says, I like this person. Let's invest our money. Let's invest our time into this one. And they set up a thing and say, hey, we love what you're doing here. Would you like to interview this apostle? And what one of these people would say no to that, right? And then they have these sit downs with them. Well, it works both ways. If these same influencers don't like somebody or believe that somebody that they've run into is teaching something or problematic to the church, they can then report them to this same committee. Yeah, this person over here, you probably should keep an eye on them. And you create this system of behind the scenes handshakes and deals, and it's exactly exactly the problems that we understand why these things are a problem with the United States government, right? It's so funny. Like we understand why like all these kinds of things where it's like, well, who's regulating FISA? Or at least we should, right? I assume the conservatives used to care about this stuff, but recently it's like if Trump's for it, I don't know, maybe all of a sudden we've changed our stance on it. But we used to be like, no, like we want this stuff to be more out in the open, but anyway, we have had bumps in with people that I know for a fact have connections with these groups for a fact because these same LDS influencers have talked openly about this relationship they have with church media, the programs in the church. I know Apple Poor or whatever. I always Apple Pie. She sent specific videos about this relationship and how they're on an email basis and how they'll email her stuff and she'll email them stuff. And so
Oh, is that chick? What's her name? Rapalai or something? Yeah,
that's the
Apple
one.
Pie. Yeah,
So
yeah. Funny how that whole thing works, eh? They do. They definitely must choose their favorite,
yep.
whatever you want to call them, and really run with them, and then have some relationship going on there. Because there's no way they do this stuff in a silo by themselves. So yeah,
Yep.
I don't know,
And
man.
then,
I don't know.
and then, and then it's always stuff like, you'll find out that like it's like Rappelpoor's husband happened to be the guy from Scripture Central, like the guy in charge of
Mm.
it, and you're like, okay, well now I know how she got her job. And then you're like, well, this guy from Scripture Central is like, his cousin works for church media, and you're like, oh, okay, like I can see how this is working. But anyway, so a church as church members committee, if you are strengthened church committee, SCMC, if you do watching this, we are faithful members of the church. We sustain the keys.
I don't.
We're follow the
I really
prophet.
hope that they get that without having to. If they watch this for like 5 seconds, I mean, is that not obvious? I don't know. I would hope it's obvious, but apparently not. I don't know.
But here's the thing though. If you are that and if you decided that Rappaport is going to be who you go with and you're infusing this apple pie with all this money and all this publicity and there's another LDS member who's like, "Hey, this is priestcraft. We shouldn't be doing this." Now all of a sudden the enemy of my LDS golden calf influencer is now my enemy, right? And so like maybe it's not necessarily anything we're saying. It's simply just the discussion of priestcraft and things like the LDS cruise trip, where you can pay $3,000 to be around these LDS influencers. Like that alone could be something that offends people, that just frustrates them.
Mm.
So.
And we can't be sued for defamation because we haven't got the name right once. So
That's right. It's all part of the master plan. It's all part of the master plan. All right. I don't know if Ammon has anything. He's like, I'm going to remain strategically silent on this. So
I
it's
think she was on that cruise too, I think, wasn't she?
Oh, yeah, she was.
Yeah, go and do travel cruises. There she is. Yeah. Well, there you go.
The only comment I was going to make on that is if there is a committee called the Strengthened Church Members Committee, and they're out there trying to prevent people from spreading misinformation about the church or whatever that belong to the church, they're doing a horrible job. Like they're doing the absolute worst job because the biggest proponents of false doctrine are the most widely watched, and they're all still on and they're all still supporting the church whilst at the same time spouting off false doctrine and all kinds of crazy stuff.
How is Zion Media and Chief Wanahakalugi, like how were they around as long as they are?
Yeah.
Is he still around? I haven't heard a single peep. Like I don't really try and
Oh, there's
look,
Peeps. He's not a member of
There's
our church
Peeps.
anymore, but there's
Yeah,
Peeps.
yeah.
But he wasn't even removed. You see, like there wasn't a stake president that contacted him at all. Isn't that
don't worry,
insane?
they'll contact us. Yeah.
Isn't that insane? Like he was insane. And it's like, and we're like, can we please? We love you. Can we just talk about this? And he's like, no, and he ran out the back door. Like, why is it that Chief Wanahaka Loogie were we acting like this with? Like, it's crazy.
Hmm.
Someone make it make sense.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, the
and-
latest is that he's no longer Chief Wanahakalugi. He's just David now.
Oh, is he?
Mhm.
Well, what's his bucket from Zion Media apparently is going the same route. Apparently, he's now the Holy Ghost, and so
Oh,
Oh,
good.
good.
So,
I've
you
always
didn't hear
wanted
about
to
that?
meet him.
Yeah, he's the Holy Ghost now, and so yeah,
Wow.
and you can, and he's got these like where he can give you a special patriarchal blessing for like $5,000.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh, that's a bargain.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Oh,
But
so-
but hey, as far as I know, not a single state president's called him. So
Yeah.
so Zion
Oh,
Media.
no. They only care about this tiny little weird things that, yeah,
And that's still good to go. So,
selling
Yeah.
patriarchal blessings over here.
yes,
That's
yes.
That's crazy. That is
I-
crazy.
I'll send you some of that stuff offline. It's
Yeah,
insane.
do it. Far out.
Questions. Baby's got a question. Have you got a question? Well, here's a place to get it answered. It's the question of the week.
Baby's got a question.
Question.
Baby's got a
Baby's
question.
The week.
All right, so Whoopi Dusk's ass, and I've decided whether or not I'm going to go on a little rant on this as well, really embarrass some people. But 'cause I've actually been thinking about this. This seems like a simple question, like off the like, man, yeah. What did happen to people's integrity? But I love these style of questions because they're sequential questions. They're what caused this to happen, and if you know what caused something to happen, then maybe you can prevent it. And so Whoopi Dusks just simply asked. And the other thing is that we had 2 comments on the last video. Most of the comments we get are all on Discord. Like people are just talking all the time on Discord. So this actually was on YouTube. So this is actually a comment on Three Brothers YouTube. And the question was, what happened to people's integrity? Put you 2 on the spot before I go off. So what are your 2 thoughts on this? What
like,
did
it's-
happen to it?
I wish I could recall what this might have been in reference to, but I mean, it is totally clear. And we kind of talked about this,
Oath
and maybe this
breakers,
is why
like
the
people
question-
being dishonest
There you
and
go. Because we have talked about this, yeah. So it is totally clear, and we do talk about this about how obvious people don't have any integrity anymore. And integrity, right? If you define it, is inexplicably, not intrinsically adhering to a set of values, right? Like you adhere to what you say you believe, and I don't feel like you can trust anyone at all. I don't even trust other religious people to even adhere to what they say they believe anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like it's just like not like we're talking about people who used to keep oaths or die, and now we don't. Now we'll make oaths and break them at convenience, and it's gone, man. And I just what did happen to people's integrity? I don't know. Is there a good answer? It's
Ooh.
gone. I know that. I don't know why.
I have a
exactly
answer.
necessarily. Yeah.
all right, Evan, what do you think?
I just think it's part of our culture now that it's just almost been bred into us, whether it's subliminal or it's front of mind, to just not give a rip about being honest and having any integrity with your word. And like the more that you think about it, the more you get into the subject and you think about like experiences you've had with people recently, and might even be yourself, like unknowingly on a couple of occasions, you might have been like, oh yeah, I totally, said I was going to do this or be that or whatever, and when I even said it, I knew it wasn't going to happen. That you might have moments like that. I tend not to have a lot of those moments because I'm a bit like Micah. Like if I say I'm going to do something, I'll tend to do it. The biggest problem for me is just remembering to pull through. But I don't make those promises and intentionally break them. It's usually just slip my mind. But yeah, I think it's a cultural thing, man. Like honestly, people if you would sit down and explain to people like the importance of integrity and come up with examples and stuff, I still see blank faces, like blank stares.
Mhm.
So
All right, maybe I'll put
you
people on the spot. Maybe I'll offend everyone here. I actually have thought about this all week, and this has been fascinating for me because it's like, okay, what? Okay, everyone's oath breakers. We used to have even the bad guys would do what they would say we were going to do, right? Like what? So it's like, what caused that to go away? Well, what caused it to stay? What caused it to stay? So you're a bad guy, you're a Lamanite, and you're like, look, I'm not going to take that oath that I'm not going to come back because I will. Like, so okay, fine, I will take an oath. I'm not going to go back to war. What caused that to be such a big a deal? Okay, one word: accountability. That was the word. And the word was enforced not by the individual, but by others around them. You're a Lamanite, you say, I swear I'm going to do this, and you go back on your word. The accountability is enforced by the community. It is enforced upon you. You are now an oath breaker. You can't be trusted. And now you get out of that. So, what was the first thing to happen? Where did all the integrity go? It left as soon as all the accountability left. There's no more accountability. There is none of that. Now, where does the accountability come in? It comes in during the repentance process. You acknowledge you've done something, and then there's this really important step called paying for what you've done. We call making restitutions, but it's also paying for what you've done. If you've broke something, you fix it. If you did a really serious sin, you have to actually go through a painful process. And what we've done, that's the accountability. If you broke somebody's window, you got to go talk to them and say, I was the one who broke your window. You got to do some difficult things and be accountable. Okay? But we skip that process and skip right to the Church of New Beginnings. Christ forgives you. You skip past the accountability phase and you go right to, I don't have to do that. Yeah, okay. I stab Micah in the back, let's say. But I don't actually have to go to him and be accountable as part of that repentance. I can skip the accountability process, okay? This happens, and I've saw that this happens for two reasons. One, feminization of the church. Women, more times than not, don't understand the justice. They don't understand that. They'll get two of parties. Oh, the son or the daughter, you're the children that had a fight. They'll put them together and they'll go, how do you feel? What do you need to say? And they'll conjure up this, I'm sorry, a feeling. Okay, do you feel something? Good. Now, do you feel forgiveness? Okay, done. Now we're moving on. And that's it. You've skipped all the real accountability. There's no accountability there, right? You've gone right to just the forgiveness, right to that. So you've removed the accountability entirely from that. Okay. And here's the other thing. So that's the woman's side. Here's the man's side of this. Okay. Here's the man's side of it, where I'm going to actually throw Ammon, who's sleeping under the bus here. So be ready, Ammon. I'm sleeping. I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you, Ammon. So here's the thing. Here's where integrity went. So let's just say hypothetically, Rodney, hypothetically, let's say you made some promises and some pledges, Rodney, that you were going to do something. Okay? Ammon knows, let's say, hypothetically, that you made those promises and pledges. He knows this. And you don't fall through with them. Does Ammon enforce the cost of that accountability? Does he hold you accountable? Does Ammon say, hey, Rodney, you made these promises. You need to be accountable to them? Or does Ammon go, hey, Rodney, let's go hunting together. Hey, Rodney, let's hang out. Let's be friends. Hey, Rodney, let's go. Let's not talk about this. Let's escape the world, you and I, and let's just have some fun, you and I together. Those promises you made, they're not that big a deal. We're not even going to talk about them because I don't want to offend you. I don't want to ruin our friendship. I like what I'm getting out of you. Rodney. And so I'm not going to hold you accountable. That is what's happening with men. And therefore, all integrity is gone. And we've decided that my friendship, the things I'm getting out of you, are worth more than holding you accountable and thus our integrity. And we'll do this all the time as men. We do this all the time. I love this guy. He's my friend. I don't want to lose that. And therefore, I'm not going to hold him accountable. And I'm going to continue to get stuff out of him. We do it all the time. We do it all the time. But the Lamanite who said, I'm not going to go to battle like that, his best friend back home would hold him accountable to that. He would hold him accountable to that. And that's why he would never have made an oath like that without being serious to that. Because the social contract was enforced. So if you want to know why we don't have integrity anymore, it's because we have no accountability. There's no accountability anymore. And it's like we do this to everything. If I said I'm going to donate or I'm going to donate my time to some like birth control abortion clinic, okay? Something that you all disagree with, think it's horrible, right? But I've said that I'm going to go help build their building. And then I said, you know what? I've decided I'm not going to do what I said I'm going to do. Do all of you go, yeah, good on you. Good on you. You know what? Forget those people. You know, they weren't even good people to begin with. Or do you say, hey, Micah, you said you were going to do that, though. Like, I don't like that group. I don't even like them. But you said you were going to do this. Like, we got to hold you accountable, buddy. Like, do this and then get out. Do what you say you're going to do. And the problem is, we don't do this anymore. We do not hold each other accountable. We pick and choose based off of what we like and don't like, what we will and won't hold people accountable for. And it's not integrity. What we actually have is idolatry, things that we worship, and we pick and choose based off of that. And it's just we hide behind a cowardly form of idolatry versus actually a real form of accountability. And that's where it goes.
Jeez Louise.
You know what it reminds me of? I don't know I know you're going to be familiar with this, Toph, but maybe not Micah. There's a very famous TV show called The Office. But anyway, there's an episode where Michael Scott, the episode is called Scott's Tots.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Michael Scott makes a promise to a third grade class that he would pay for their college tuition if they graduated. And so he said to them all, if you guys knuckle down, you know, they're from a low socioeconomic area. He said, if you guys knuckle down and you graduate, I'll pay for your college tuition. And so every year he'd go and see them and like renew the promise or commitment to pay their college tuition. And they'd write him letters and send him little videos and send him like updates on how they're going with their schoolwork and stuff. And they'd sing songs about him, super excited. And then when it came time for their graduation and preparation to go to college, he's like, oh, guys, I'm not paying.
And
you better believe
batteries.
Yeah, he gave them laptop batteries just in case they bought laptops. And you think
gosh.
about that, like, what
Oh my
what do
gosh.
you do in that circumstance? You would at least want to keep him accountable, wouldn't you? Or do you think
If your
their
friend-
reaction to that? Yeah, do you think their reaction to that was like, "Oh, that's okay, Mike. Like, we're going to be fine," or was it, "Hey, we've spent our entire lives banking on you paying for college, so the money we've saved was for like, you know, maybe where we're going to live and how we're going to eat and all that sort of stuff. You know, we've budgeted for this and we've saved for this and we've prepared our lives for it, and now our entire lives have been thrown completely out, you know." Anyway, so the point is, those people would definitely keep him accountable and want him to fess up and say, hey, look, like, you can't be doing that. So why you're right, why should it be any different if there's any other commitment made or promises made that just blatantly aren't kept, intentionally not kept, and then not try and remind the person, if you care about them, that, hey, you know, that there is a price to be paid when you don't keep your word, and you got to be accountable, man, so we can keep moving here, and I can trust you and you can trust me and other people can trust you, God can trust you, all that sort of stuff.
And I hope people know that I wouldn't be offended about that. Like, I said that I'm making promises with myself about my potty mouth. Now, if I'm hanging here on Amateur Topher and I'm like, bleep and bleep, and Amateur Topher like, hey, bro, remember your promise. I'd be like, frick. If they're like, you're an idiot, dude. You just promised this like 5 minutes ago. I wouldn't be offended by that. Like, I would be like, thank you for holding me accountable, and because you're right. I am making a promise to move forward and do this way, right? And so it's like if you're a man of integrity, or if you're a man striving for that, accountability is not something that offends you. It's something that you appreciate because you know that they care about your integrity. They care about it. They want you to be the best version of you, right?
Yeah.
And so, if people get offended at that, it's because they aren't actually striving for integrity.
Yeah.
They're not.
I was going to say, so a person who's striving for integrity will appreciate it. A low integrity person will take offense.
Yes.
Yeah. And so but it's still on the person maybe to hold them accountable and up to the person to be low integrity or striving for high
Exactly.
integrity. Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So if you care about people's
Nice.
integrity, if you care about it, and you're like, why is it gone? Start holding people accountable.
Mm.
Very good.
Now, for everyone's favorite time of the week.
At least the favorite tune.
Follow.
Channel
Oh,
3! Channel 3 brothers for this week's headlines. Your anchors, Topher, Micah, and Evan. Get your week's headlines. Channel 3. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, one of these weeks, Topher, you need to actually like sneak in the like 15-minute version of that song. Just one time, just like catch us off guard and just be like, yeah. Just do it. Everyone be like, dude, did something just break? Is it lagging? What is that?
All
All right, Ammon, you can read these.
Channel
There
3.
you go.
Yeah.
can read these.
Channel
Help
3
keep 'em
from
awake.
your 3 favorite anchors. This week's headlines. Here we go. Number 1. Massi loses election. Israel groups boast that their money defeated him, but you can't say anything about it. Experts confirm discussing foreign lobbying is only acceptable when it involves literally anyone else. And that was to me, that is so corrupt, so dirty. Anyone who is a Republican and has any, honestly, and maybe people will get offended at this, I don't know. And maybe you should get offended by what I'm about to say. If you are someone that votes Republican at all, and you witness this, and you are happy that someone could pay to
Yeah.
cause another person to lose,
Yeah.
then you've got a problem. That's not a good thing. This is a very, very, very bad thing.
Yep.
Now, and that's even the case if you genuinely didn't like Massi over the guy who won. I don't even know his name, starts with a G. If you genuinely thought that the other guy
No
was a
one
better
does.
candidate, well, let's say you did. Let's even pretend, like, give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's pretend they've all got tons of integrity on that. Let's say you really believe the other guy was the better candidate. It's not a good thing to think that a foreign nation can lobby to win any seat. That's bad. That's scary. And those people might celebrate that. Some Republicans might celebrate, oh yeah, who cares? Like, let's use the Israeli money or whoever's money AIPAC money to get it done. But you won't like it if it's a Democrat running against a Republican and then some other foreign body, Russia. Do you remember that? Remember having a problem with Russiagate? You remember you didn't like that, Republicans? So let's just try and have like a tiny shred of integrity, being the word of the day, tiny little bit of integrity, and remain consistent both ways, if it happens to you or if it happens to me.
Very Getty Anton like, isn't it? Almost,
Yeah,
the whole thing.
to say that we did it, to brag, yeah, we swung this election, but you can't say it as well. Like you can't draw attention to it. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So I don't even like just on a basic level. Like I agree with Ammon here. Like even if you hate Massey, even if you love the other guy, it's like this is just not good. This bad. This is just that we can't have a meddling in foreign elections like this. We can't. And And the fact that it so openly happens now is terrifying. That this is now where we've gotten to this point in time. And
This is what I find shocking every week is that things are now done in the open almost.
yeah, yeah,
And you still can't do or say anything about it. And it's like, that's really, really scary to me. Is that like we've already got handcuffs on. You know what I mean? Like we already can't say anything.
yeah,
And it'll just keep getting worse. And because we kind of let that slide now, this one, and then the next one, and it's little steps, and eventually it'll be something so insanely drastic, and we won't be able to say anything because we haven't said anything about anything.
correct. Yep.
And we can't do anything now, and we're just absolutely screwed. And it's just a matter of time, man. It's a slippery slope. And
Yep.
it's again the accountability, man. Yeah.
And the influencers is what I was going to talk about ties into this. The way that we get away with this stuff now is that we used to have to. So APAC is just one thing, but the way we used to with everything, whether or not you were a church, whether or not you were J.C. Penney, whether if that's even still around anymore, like Toys R Us, it's the way of the ghost. If you were a corporation, a church, a business entity, like you had to disclose that, even on YouTube, by the way, because this isn't the same way.
Yeah.
If you get paid to do something, you have to disclose it. Like you could lose your streamer quote unquote license. Like if you're a streamer and you're promoting something and paid to promote it and you don't disclose that, you will lose your license in that way. But an influencer does not. An influencer does not. And so churches, corporations, political entities can go to these people and just make donations. We will make a donation to you. And because I don't have to disclose this stuff to the government, I don't have to disclose it. You know, if the LDS Church decides to donate $20,000 towards an LDS cruise for Rappaport, it doesn't have to disclose that. And the reason is we're just donating to a good cause. If the church decided to give $100,000 to Red Cross, would we care? No. And would there be any like paper trail necessarily for these things? No, not really. And so the way we're getting around this is that like the Israel lobby, big oil, these things, they will go to influencers, people that are big, and they will say, we will donate to you. By the way, this is what was going on with Charlie Kirk right before he took whatever we want to call it to the neck. They were coming to him and they were saying, hey, we will infuse you with $100 million, double what you are of donations, if you will just agree to these talking points, if you will just agree to this. And the big thing with Charlie is he said no, and then we all know how that story ended.
Who said yes?
Yeah, and who
yes.
said yes? Yeah, the new CEO. And so it's like we've entered this scary time period where it's all out in the open. But like the under the table, the stuff is still like it's out in the open, but we all now can even know that the under the table stuff is happening. We know that the LDS influencers are getting money from these sources. We know that these politicians are getting money from the Israel lobby. We know that these other people are getting money from big oil. Like we know it, we just can't do anything about it anymore or talk about it because you're going to get in trouble. But like this influencer thing. We've entered a very dangerous time period where it's like we don't know what's true anymore, really, with or without AI. We don't know what's true anymore. We just know the message that's being paid for the influencers to get out.
Yeah.
Yep.
People should care about
Anyway,
that.
we're all on the same page there. That's absolutely wild. I can't believe it. I guess I can believe it. And I guess it just annoys me. But anyway, headline number two. Headline number two. Nothing we can do about it. Number two, Ebola outbreak. Americans reportedly too exhausted. E for America. But reportedly too exhausted to panic properly this time. Oh yeah, like
That's Americans with Ebola.
There is a Americans with Ebola. There is a bit of
fatigue.
What do you call it? Fatigue when it comes to some of these things. Like if someone cries wolf to you enough, like eventually you're just like, oh my gosh, I can't. So just let it take me. If the wolf comes, just let it have me at this point. I'm sick of running and hiding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let the wolf come.
Yeah. Ebola. So what happened here? The Ebola actually came to town, and everyone's like, just let it be swift this time.
It's what was it in Missouri?
Missouri.
The Ebola. So it's in the United States now. So, but
Oh, good.
yeah. So there are some cases like in Missouri. The United States just put out a travel ban to these countries in obviously Africa. Well, maybe not obvious. It's in Africa though. Maybe I got myself in trouble there, but it's in Africa, and so the travel ban
Oi,
is now.
oi. Interesting. It's in Missouri though.
Yeah,
Missouri.
yeah,
Missouri of all places.
Missouri. So yeah, so maybe there's some
Maybe to
Ebola.
wipe it clean. You know,
Maybe there's a deadly disease or two on the way to Missouri.
No, that's
I
So-
did
terrible.
just
Yeah.
hear a headline that there was a mysterious illness on board a flight flying from France to the US today, and the American government told them you don't have permission to land, so you go find somewhere else to land, and it was being
It's
redirected
just,
to
just a
Montreal.
Frenchman. Just a Frenchman on board. No, you
Yeah,
can't
well,
land
could
here.
be. Yeah.
Weird disease, being French.
So I thought that was pretty funny. I thought that was pretty darn funny.
Well, we all know
Yeah,
where
right.
AIDS, or as it was known then, GRID, gay-related immune
Jeez.
disorder. That's actually what it used to be called.
Did it really? I
Yeah,
did not
GRID.
know that.
Gay-related
Wow.
immune disorder, and then they decided that was insensitive, so they changed it to AA, so AIDS, autoimmune disorder
Yeah,
syndrome,
right.
something
I
like
had no
that.
idea.
Yeah,
There you go.
it started in a, well, so maybe you didn't know this either. It started in a gay bathhouse, French bathhouse in France. That's where the AIDS started. So that's where if they could have closed down that one bathhouse, gay bathhouse in France, like AIDS would never have become the worldwide pandemic that it was. So
Wow.
You had about
And
as much
it
chance
really got out
closing that bathhouse as you could the entire southern border of the United States.
there.
them doors were
men-
wide open.
The men will
Why?
find a way. Yeah.
They
They'll
would
find a way in there. Yeah.
in France. Sorry to the French.
Get
We love
in
you
the
guys.
bathhouse.
Suck
We
it,
love
Love
you
you
blood.
that
crazy.
much.
It really got out there. That really from one spot really got out there.
The
Wow.
doors to that bathhouse are about as tightly monitored as the southern border.
Uh,
Oh, that's
yeah.
funny. I mean, you got to laugh at this stuff. All right, let's move on. Number 3, brothers, 4,000-acre AI data center approved in Utah. Not sure where the water and power will come from. Officials reassure residents the servers will probably drink less than the people do. You know what's
Oh, my
funny?
goodness.
I just drove around the corner, I think it was today, and there's this big open field in this sort of semi-industrial area, and there's signs on the field saying, "We don't want a data center," or "No data
that in-
centers."
Is that in Helena River near Guildford?
Yep,
Yep.
that's what they're doing.
My daughter, no, well, it actually got protested against and stopped, which is
Oh,
nice.
there
So,
you go.
yeah, they were going to build this ginormous data center in a pristine, like lovely green, foresty kind of area. So my daughter, right, like we homeschool my daughter, but she goes 2 days to this like kind of like a it's a
She
Steiner
protested. She got it
school.
shut
No,
down.
the school did because they were going to build it right next to her school. And so her school is this really cute Steiner thing where it's kind of like she does this homeschool hybrid thing. So she goes 2 days a week and gets to do all these activities. Really good. But anyway, it was going to be built right across the street or right next door. And they were like, what the heck, we're not having this. So thankfully they got canned. They actually protested and actually successfully stopped it. But on this, so 4,000 acres, by the way, do you understand how big that is? That is insane.
Yep.
And the power consumption, by the way, on that is crazy. That is the amount of power that will draw, insane. So I have absolutely I completely understand the locals being like, man, because like if anything goes whack there, they're gonna have brownouts. Any town nearby is cooked, man. But at the same time, they're going to have to. Whoever's building this will know this. Will know that what the power consumption will have to be, and they may end up having the best power in all of the USA. Do you know what I mean? Like they might have to build a
Surely
nuclear power plant there. I don't know,
Surely
but
they
like-
would have to, in order to get approved for that, surely they'd have to come with their own power source.
Yeah,
You
so
know what I mean?
crazy.
Their own batteries.
Yeah, bring
Crazy.
your
So
own batteries.
they often offset with solar and battery, but to the amount of solar, like so you have a 4,000 acre data center, you'll need 10, I don't know, 50,000 yeah, 50,000 acres of solar or something stupid to like power it.
Yeah.
So but they will offset it with solar probably. But I would not be surprised if they built a nuclear power station or something to power it. That would not surprise me at all. So I don't
Hmm.
know. I don't know the story, but
Well,
yeah.
there are a lot of people that seem to be having experiences where they see some kind of nuclear glow going on in Utah. So I don't know, man.
Secret nuclear power stations going up.
I could understand the
Anyway.
point of this stuff in the past, but I don't understand it anymore. Like in the past, like you sold out a big chunk of your city or your district to like a dump, right? And they could dump stuff there. It was like you would get all that money for your city, and then like you would put it in the bridges and like so like I kind of get it at one point in time where it was like you sell this out, you're gonna get a ton of the money. But now, with the way the federal government is, it's like it doesn't matter. The federal government will just bleed you dry of everything you get from this. They'll tax you, they'll inflate your money. So it's like it's not like the state of Utah or the district or the city here is gonna see really a blood dime of this. Like you're not gonna get a new bridge over this. You're not gonna get new
No, it's all
infrastructure.
private.
You're,
Yeah.
you're going to lose it all. It's all going to go to these secret combinations. You're not going to see any of it anymore. Like at one point in time, like for example, like with Alaska, they opened a lot of this stuff up to like in Alaska, like the oil and stuff like that. And they did it and they said, we're going to open this stuff up like to the oil and stuff like that, but we're going to give it right back to you, the citizens. And so like even to this day, like if you go live in Alaska, like the state of Alaska will write you like a $5,000 check just to live in Alaska. So like and it's something like $1,000 to $3,000 per kid. So like if you just live in Alaska because you've allowed them to do this, the state of Alaska will like pay your family 15,000 or whatever. It's like but those days are over. Like those days are over. Like the people in this area who experience the brownouts and you're not going to get anything for this.
Yeah. And potential contamination of all sorts. I've seen like where this goes
Correct.
wrong and the groundwater gets screwed up and like, all sorts of stuff. So, man, good luck. I certainly wouldn't want this next to my house. I remember
No.
seeing a documentary about this or something about it, and it was not this one, it was another one, and they were building a power station, and just even while it was being constructed, the whole thing was messed up. All the groundwater was messed up, all this stuff was messed up. So, yeah, geez,
GG's. That's
GG. Yeah.
It's a good one. All right. Moving on down, shaking it up. Number 4, Trump brags that he is so popular in Israel that he could run for prime minister over there and win. Critics accuse him of exaggerating. Supporters ask where they can donate to the campaign. They would. Legitimately, they would.
I don't doubt that he could totally win that.
99%
Well.
is what he said. He said he had a 99% approval rating over there in Israel, which is higher than the current prime minister.
Yeah.
And he'd be wearing BB and a baby holder carrier. Well,
Here's the thing. I don't think it's the flex he thinks it is. So just
anyone who's
because that's
awakened
true,
to this will see it exactly for what it is. Yeah, it's not a flex.
yeah, just because it's real doesn't mean it's the flex he thinks it is. But
Yeah.
hey, let him have his moment.
If he had said this 5 years ago, I'd be like, oh yeah, it's cool. Yeah, sure,
Saying
whatever.
that hurts him so badly. I don't think he has any idea how much that actually negatively there's like a negative image towards him. But anyway,
It's not MAGA anymore. Like it's fine. Like I don't care. Like
gone.
like as far as like your politics, you put what you
It's MAGA, make Israel great again.
yeah. It's
MAGA.
make Israel great. Like this is not something. Like who cares? Who cares? Like his whole platform was like, what about us? What's good for us? And having Israel have that high of an approval rating, and then us being like the gas prices that we are, and yada yada yada. It's like that ain't good.
Mhm.
Smoking the peace pipe, or is that? Oh, it's one of those
It's a big
Israel
thumb.
hands.
I don't know.
Yeah, big
Yeah.
thumb. So yeah, and I think once again, understanding like we've said at the bottom here repeatedly, we report, you decide, and laugh, is that like this is what's so funny about that is that like there's these two sides. Like critics are saying, yeah, well, they maybe they don't love you as much as you're saying, right? You're exaggerating it, and then the supporters are like, where can we donate to the campaign? This is great news, and it's like
Mm.
we're just in the middle. Just can we just laugh at this? Like this is hilarious. You're the president of the United States of America. Who cares how much Israel support? The only reason why you would care that Israel supports President Trump this much is if you are a brain dead Zionist who believes that the country of Israel is God's country, and therefore if God's people support your, then God supports you, which is absolutely
Yeah.
terrifying.
Geez, you have to be so uninformed to have that opinion now. Like, it's just,
So
Like-
unbiblical, so un-Jesus the Christ.
but it's such like a boomer opinion to have too. Like, it's so like, I don't know, like they missed the
Common.
memo, you know? Yeah,
Yep.
missed the memo on it and just have this automatic assumption and misunderstanding and, yeah.
Yep. All right. Last one, gang.
Oh, this is good news.
Number 5. Old school Pizza Huts are making a comeback, including their red roofs. Millennials immediately overcome with emotional damage, and desire for book it coupons. This is funny because years ago when I was
I would
living in
kill for this.
Melbourne,
Mm.
there were 2 all-you-could-eat Pizza Huts left in the state, and we got together with some other millennial friends of ours, and we did the road trips to both of them.
Oh, hell yeah.
They were 3.5 hours away. So we did the 3.5 hour drive to them, and the food is completely average. The experience is average.
But it's so awesome.
Like the option,
It's still
but
good.
it was so
good.
awesome. It brought back all the memories.
The red
It's like
cups.
it's a couple of slices of the pizza, a little bit of jelly. You call it
Some
Jello,
ice
I
cream,
guess.
yeah, jelly,
Ice
ice cream
cream.
with some chocolate on, sprinkles on it or whatever, and
yeah,
unlimited refill drinks, and that's
Yeah.
a good
And the-
evening. That's a
the
fun
people-
evening.
The people that saw us eating there were weirded out because we're in their like giddy little school guys are like, I remember that. Oh, hey, get the jelly, get the jelly with the ice cream. And the people who lived in that tiny little town, because it was a small town, they're like, what the heck?
It's going on.
What the heck? This sucks. Like, what are we? We're just hungry. What are we doing here?
The bummer
Yeah.
about this is that this will be in America. Like this won't. We're not getting them in Australia. Surely, probably not. But
It's
so
actually
funny to
local.
see.
Getting here local. We actually have it local now.
Oh, you get
That's how
one?
we do.
Oh, heck yeah, man.
Yeah, the local one here actually but it's only in the afternoon. I'll have to ask Ash about it, but it's only like between like 11 o'clock to 3 o'clock you show up,
Yeah, right.
and it has the all you can eat. It has the whole setup or whatever.
Probably
So yeah.
offsetting downtime or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's good. Like, actually, I think I wonder the state of buffets in the future. Like I feel like they're probably all on a decline. Like, I mean, I don't know. Is Sizzler? So Sizzler in Australia shut down too. Is Sizzler still in America at all?
I don't know. I'm seriously, other than Wild Wings, unless it's a chicken wing, I have
So I
no
know, Wild
idea.
Wings.
That's all I know.
Yeah,
Everything
so
else I
don't
make.
know. Yeah. So
if it
'cause
isn't a
unfortunately-
chicken wing, it's safe.
like yeah, so Pizza Hut, we still have Pizza Hut. We just don't have the all you can eat like Pizza Hut restaurant. So we have just the tiny little Pizza Huts that'll make a pizza and whatever. You can't even barely sit in them. Just like standing room while you wait for a pizza and leave, or they'll deliver it to you, or whatever. So these are my childhood, man. I miss that. But it's funny, you still see the buildings with the roof style that they
Yeah.
built, that roof, and there'll be something else. It'll be like a bank or something. And it used to be
Or a
Pizza Hut.
sushi
It's funny
shop.
as- Yeah. So I miss those, man. I would love that. But yes, Pizza Hut's gone. Sizzler went. Sizzler was like another really, really good one. And there's not a lot of buffet stuff over here anymore like that. But so it's really sad. But it's really cool if you guys get that back again. I'd love that, man.
Did you get
That'd
those
be
read those book it read things? Did you get that program down there too?
That doesn't ring a bell. I don't know.
Oh my goodness, dude! Like it fueled a whole generation of women women's reading and obesity. It just fueled it because they would have this read program in the summer, and if you read these books while you were in junior high, I think even in high school, and like you got stickers based off of like, okay, like you read this book and you could prove you read this book, and then you'd go in and they just give you free pizzas. They just give you free pan pie pizzas based off of that. And so, like, yeah, so kids would be just like reading all freaking summer, passing the little tests, and then just going and binging on pizza. And so it's like, so it was like this, like trying to teach, the importance of reading to kids. And yeah, it got a whole generation of people addicted to pizza and reading. So it worked. It was
Nice.
successful.
It did the job. You know
It
what?
did the
Another one
job.
that we had for a little while and didn't last long, and it must have been, it was pretty obscure. KFC actually had an all you can eat over here for a little while.
Wow.
And
Yep.
I remember going, hey, I want to go there for my birthday. So I forget how old I was. I would have been 12 or something, or younger, 10, 11, 12, 13, something like that. And I was like, "Oh, that's what I want for my birthday. I want to get an all you can eat KFC." And in my mind, it was going to be the greatest thing of all time. And but how much KFC can you eat, especially as a kid? Like honestly, you get through three pieces and you feel like just death, you know. And so, but yeah, I remember going there, and Ahmed would have come. Yeah, I remember, and we would have gone there and binged on KFC chicken. But yeah, that didn't
Yep.
last long either. But miss those times, man.
So
The
maybe I can
90s.
maybe I can get Ammon and Topher on a long road trip over here to Pizza Hut. Maybe
Oi,
that's what
do you
finally
know?
bring him over
In,
here.
in in all seriousness, you remember the show?
That'll do it.
Remember the show? Oh, what's it called? The guy when he goes and eats food everywhere. Uh,
Oh. Yeah, yeah. The guy that died, right?
he's still alive. No, that's you're
Yeah.
thinking of I know who you're thinking of. What's it called? But he always does food challenges, big food. Oh, man, what's it called? Anyway,
Man versus
uh,
food.
man versus food. Thank you so much. Yes. So when we went to America last years and years ago, I based everywhere we went. I would go, "What is the man versus food thing that they do in that area?" And
That's
we went there
awesome.
every time. So we went to like the Heart Attack Grill in Vegas and things like just crazy stupid things that like he would always do,
That's what
like
it was.
challenges and
That's what
stuff.
it's called, the heart attack
That's what it's
grill.
called. And
Uh,
they give you a discount based on your weight. So if you're a big fat dude, they make you stand on scales as you go through. And if you're fatter, you actually pay less. That's
oh
some
my
weird gimmick to get people in there. Yeah,
gosh.
yeah, yeah. So, and they do these insanely huge burgers. The food wasn't even that good, to be honest with you. But like, it's you go there for and all the waitresses wear like nurses outfits. And if you don't finish your food, they spank your butt with a big wooden paddle. So this is the
What?
craziness of it. Yeah. Anyway,
Uh,
so to get back to my point,
I thought this was America. Isn't this
I would
America?
love, yeah,
Mhm.
I would love that. That's America to a T, that restaurant. But I would love to go on a road trip through America and just hit all these really good food spots, man. Especially these nostalgic ones. That'd be great. I would love that. Yeah, I'm all about the food. That.
Well, we'll have it. We'll have the seat warm for you guys.
I'll have the pizza warm for you.
We'll have the pizza warm for you, waiting over here.
We're gonna look so weird being excited about stuff like that. I love it.
Well, before the world ends, and
And
I didn't take. Do I really need to take you to Hershey, man? I'm telling you, it's one of the coolest experiences I've had in America. It's like this less known park. It's one of the most magical experiences. Like it's a bigger deal. It was a bigger deal with my kids than anything Disney related. That's how big of a deal like
I
that
don't
is.
even know what is it like Hershey's the chocolate or is it
Hershey,
something
the
else?
chocolate. Yeah, the actual city in which it was born, Hershey,
Oh,
Pennsylvania. You go there and it's insane. The whole town smells like chocolate. All the street lamps are instead of street lights, they're Hershey Kisses. It's like magical, and you can. It's a theme park, and you can like actually go. There's really awesome roller coasters and stuff, and
love it.
a lot cheaper than like a Disneyland sort of thing. And all of there's like a tour of like a chocolate factory that you can go through, sitting in a Reese's cup, and you can get free Reese's and all the rides are like instead of based off of just height, it's like based off of what you are. So if you're a certain height, you're a Twizzler, and if you're a certain height, you're a a certain other chocolate bar or whatever. And
Mm.
so just a crazy fun experience, man. Just really.
There's a chocolate river you can dive
Yeah,
into and
basically. I mean, that's basically what it is. And it's
sucked
like
up
this
into
is,
a tube.
I mean, it's Homer Simpson's dream. Like, I mean, this is like his euphoric like daydream. This is it. So
That sounds great. That sounds great.
say, Amy, come over here. We'll figure it out
Mm-mm.
before the world ends.
I do love me some chocolate, I'll tell you that.
All right. Well, we better bring it back before the end here. Bring it back before the end.
Spiritual. Come on, let's get spiritual. Let's talk spiritual. Let me get you spiritual. Let me get you spiritual. Spiritual. Pump it down.
Break it down.
Give me your spiritual thought. Yeah.
Oh man, man, I love those so much. Oh my goodness. By the way, the band that brought you these tunes, Topher Incorporated, is he jams. I mean, at the local Pizza Hut. I mean, he
I play these songs. Just
just nonstop. Yeah.
play them at the Pizza Hut. Yeah.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, "What the heck is going on? Go home.
Go
I'm
home.
eating here.
Oh my
I'll pay you
gosh.
$1 to shut up."
Yeah, they're paying us to leave. Oh, that's true.
Uh,
Anyway, this spiritual thought is brought to you by Elder Neil A. Maxwell. So, this first quote here is actually from Elder Bednar talking about an experience that he had with Neil A. Maxwell. And he said, Elder Bednar said, during the course of our conversation that day, I asked Elder Maxwell what lessons he had learned through his illness. I remember always the precise and penetrating answer he gave. Dave, he said, I have learned that not shrinking is more important than surviving. And Elder Maxwell taught with great authenticity the following: as we confront our own trials and tribulations, we too can plead with the Father just as Jesus did, that we might not shrink, meaning to retreat or recoil. Not shrinking is much more important than simply surviving. Moreover, partaking of a bitter cup without becoming bitter is likewise part of the emulation of Jesus. And the commitment that I have, or we have for all of you, me, all above, is when we are suffering, or maybe even simply surviving this week. Maybe that's kind of when we get into those modes, because we all have that, I don't have had a single week in my life where there hasn't been a moment I'm suffering, with whatever it is, loneliness, depression, something bad going on. Some weeks worse than others. The commitment is this week, when you're in those moments of suffering or simply just trying to survive the week, remember and resolve not to shrink in those moments this week.
I love this. Do you know what's cool? A crazy cool thing here is that at that leadership conference that I attended, this was something that Elder Yagi said in his talk, not using this exact example or thing with Elder Neil A. Maxwell or anything, but I paraphrased it in my notes, and I'm just going to read. I'll read this. So he said, and this is not exactly what he said. This is my trying to write it down quickly while I didn't have a lot of time. But he said, the Savior bore pain so exquisite that even he yelled out to his Father for the burden to be removed on the cross. Father, take this bitter cup from me. But then he qualified as the Savior by saying, nevertheless, thy will be done. So even the Savior, which was taken to the point of calling out for his Father to help me, but then he completed the atonement. He broke through that point and finished the atonement and said, nevertheless, thy will be done. So this is the hardest thing I've ever done. Nevertheless, thy will be done. And so just like the Savior at the worst time of our lives, the worst time of his life, he said, nevertheless, thy will be done. At the worst times of our lives, may we call out to our Father and say, nevertheless, thy will be done as well. And I wrote that down because it was so cool. And it's cool that this is the commitment and spiritual thought now for this. It's I love it. Really good thought.
Pretty crazy timing for me, because just this morning I was telling the seminary class that I teach all about Neil A. Maxwell, like just telling them, man, this guy is so special to me because when he speaks, it just touches me different. I connect to the words and I connect to his storytelling and his poetic tone on a deeper level than many others that I listen to. And one of the things that kept running through my mind is actually this quote, him being concerned about not shrinking. And I thought to myself, like, what a guy to be so honest about the fact that he was concerned that he could do the wrong thing, and he was willing to let people know about what he was worried could be his weakness. And then we can benefit from that because we can say, look, even the greatest of us, so to speak, are not perfect, but we can witness as they strive to work through whatever their weakness is. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I think too often
Yeah.
we think to ourselves, subliminally at least, we think to ourselves, look, I am the way I am. The weakness I have is the weakness I have, and I'm just going to have to keep failing along with that weakness. Well, the truth is, you can actually battle the weakness and win through the atonement of Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And if people know that you have a weakness that you're battling through and being faithful through it and getting through it, think about how much that can benefit other people. So it's not meekness is that is I think a great example of meekness is showing the battle and overcoming and being the example to people. Whereas some people might say, nah, humility would state that you shut your mouth, you deal with it, you don't tell anyone. Because it's prideful if you go like, I've got a problem, but I'm winning. Nah, I don't think so. I think it's meek to be strong, but have your weaknesses under control and allow people to see you in your weakest and most vulnerable position, but then also being victorious through it. I think that's meekness. That's the strength of meekness.
Yeah. It's not in losing.
Kind of the
No.
point of life, isn't it?
Yep.
Yep.
You know, this ties so perfectly into what we went through with President Nelson and Follow the Prophet too, because the biggest thing that kept coming after us is, I might die, I might not survive. Like that was the big thing. Like that was the worst that could happen. Like the worst thing that happened is that like somebody could die, and it's like, but at what cost? Like you shrunk. Like, and that's you know, so central to that is that it's like, yeah, I dying isn't the worst thing that can happen to me. Shrinking in these moments is like, that's the worst thing that can happen.
And then you'll end up in a small man's choir.
And then you're in a small man's choir because you've shrunk enough. We've gone for his full circle, folks. We're back in the we
Whoever didn't watch
represent
last week's
the
one,
Shrunk
they're like,
Guild.
What's he talking about?
Yeah. And we're back.
The small men's the choir of small men strikes again.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good.
All
right. Topher, take us away.
All right. Thank you, everyone. We've made it to the end. You did it. Well done. Congratulations. Ammon made it to the end. He's still awake. He
My
lost him
eyes are open.
midway. We made it. We lost him midway there for a bit, but he made it.
It was dicey.
We're great. We're on the rocks for a while there. Fair play. It's now 11:35 p.m. So you know, I gotta hand it to him. It's late. It's late. So
And I'm up at 5 a.m. for seminary.
He's up. And so we appreciate it. But thank you all for watching. We love talking about these things. We love spending time, what we feel virtually spending time with whoever is listening to this. Again, we appreciate you. Hit us up with comments and questions because again, we will reference them if they're worthy. And so we do appreciate anybody who watches and contributes. We do appreciate that. And thank you for spending this time with your favorite or least favorite
Brothers.
We love you, brothers and sisters. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you again next week.
Three brothers, don't forget.